coming on the Zoom today, Your Honor, so.
Okay. Calling People versus Todd Squires on behalf of the people.
Jane Gillis on behalf of the people.
David I. Goldstein appearing on behalf of the defendant.
And the defendant is also present. This matter is set for an exam by Zoom today. My understanding, Ms. Gillis, is that we're going to put Officer Mowbray in the waiting room while you call your first witness.
Yes.
And I did that. So are the people ready to proceed?
Yes, a couple preliminary matters, Your Honor. The lab result that came back from MSP said that detected a 0.107 blood alcohol amount, and have asked that that be submitted under 766.1B. I discussed this with the defense before coming on today. Also, I'd asked that my officer in charge be allowed to be present. He's not going to testify. He won't probably ever testify in this case. He says Bob Queener on the
I understand, but that's
really
Officer Bettendorf. Correct. Anything else?
That's it. I'm ready.
Go ahead and call your first witness.
At this time, the people would call Officer Swabick.
Officer Swabick, can you raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give in this matter will be the true self of God.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Ms. Gillis.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, before we begin, Mr. Squires, you need to mute yourself. You cannot speak during this proceeding, but do you know what a chat feature is? Do you know how to chat?
No, I do not.
If you look,
Mr. Squires, if you touch the screen, there should be some. Are you on a phone?
Yes, I am.
There should be some icons come up, and one of them says chat.
Says chat.
Chat, C-H-A-T. Why don't you send him a message, Mr. Goldstein, so that we can show him how the feature works.
okay.
Sir, your attorney's going to send you a private message right now, and it should appear in your screen.
Okay, well, what I have on my screen right now says mute, stop video, share, and more.
Hit more.
Hit more.
Okay, and I see chat. Okay.
See it? Okay. Yep. If you want to talk to your attorney, you can send him a private message at any time. Also, I can put the two of you in a breakout room if you want to have a conversation. Okay?
Okay, so I do that now?
Well, no, just as the testimony is going and stuff, I'll ask your attorney if he needs to talk to you at any time. But if you want to tell him anything specific, you can send him a private message, okay?
Okay,
Right, or-
thank you.
But
Right.
go ahead.
If we need to talk, Mr. Squires, just send me a chat that says now or, whatever. Just give me some word and I will stop and we'll talk, okay?
Okay, all right, thanks. Thank you.
Okay, and I'll give you an opportunity to go into a private breakout room also. All
Keep
right.
in mind that anything
But
you say,
otherwise-
what? I'm sorry. Keep in mind that anything you say on this chat, everybody in the world can hear. So if you want to talk
No,
privately, to
that's
me,
not true.
well,
Yeah, you got to hit it private. For the chat, you put just to Mr. Goldstein. But also, Mr. Squires, you can at any time say, can I talk to my attorney, even if you can't figure out the chat, and I'll give you guys a private breakout room, okay?
Thank you.
Judge.
Otherwise, just go ahead and mute yourself, okay?
Okay, so I mute myself now?
Yep,
Yes.
yep. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Gillis.
Thank
Okay,
you,
Officer
Judge.
Swabick,
You're welcome.
I'd like to draw your attention back to the date of February 6, 2020. Were you working as a Van Buren police officer on that date?
I was.
And were you working at around approximately 8 o'clock in the evening?
I was.
Did you receive a run to Tyler Road and Morton Taylor Road in Van Buren Township?
Yes.
Okay, and what was the nature of that call?
It was a hit and run traffic accident.
Okay, and did you keep in contact with dispatch during that time?
Yes.
Okay, based on the, did you receive more information from dispatch?
I did.
Okay, and based on that information, did you ultimately go to a different location?
Yes.
What was the different location you went to?
It was a car wash on Belleville Road. I'd have to refer to my report for the exact address.
If you need to refresh your recollection,
Okay. It was,
or you can tell us the name of the car wash if you remember that.
yeah, it's 9750 Belleville Road, Waterworks Car Wash.
Okay, and when you got to the location, what did you see?
When I pulled into the car wash, I observed a black pickup truck parked in the rear of the parking lot.
Okay, let me
then
stop you right there. I should have
Okay.
asked you something else. Did
Okay.
dispatch give you a description of what you were looking for?
They did. They advised it was a black Ford F-150, and they gave the license plate to the vehicle.
Okay. When you got to that location, you just testified that you saw a truck in the back.
Correct.
Did that truck match that description?
It did. It was a black F-150.
Okay, and did you check the license plate at any point?
Yes, I did.
And did the license plate match what you got from dispatch?
Yes.
Okay, and was there, did the car have any damage to it?
Yes, there was damage to the front of the car. I'd have to review my report for exactly which side.
If you need to refresh your recollection.
Okay. Yeah, it was the front left side of the vehicle.
Okay, and was it bad damage? Is it, what did describe the damage?
It was fresh damage. There was no dirt, no dust, anything like that. The area of the vehicle that was damaged, and it was the area more the driver's side door onto right above where the front left tire is. And it appeared as scratches and dents.
Okay. Did you see someone there with the vehicle?
I did.
Were they inside or outside the vehicle?
They were outside on the passenger side of the vehicle.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you, I don't know what kind of screen, if you have the thumbnail screen, or do you see, can you see everybody on the screen?
If I scroll, yes.
Okay. And do you see the person that you saw standing outside the truck when you arrived to the car wash?
I do.
Okay. Can you tell me what color shirt he has on and maybe describe the facial hair?
It's a dark colored shirt and a goatee.
Okay. Can the record reflect he's identified the defendant?
It's reflected.
Okay. And did you make contact with him when you got there?
I did.
Okay. And did you notice anything about him?
He showed obvious signs of intoxication.
Describe what you saw that made you think that.
So his speech was slurred. He was unsteady on his feet, and his eyes were watery. And
Okay.
also, I could smell a strong odor of intoxicants coming from his breath.
Okay. And what happened when you made contact with him? What was the nature of the conversation when you first got there?
So I asked him if he was recently involved in a traffic crash, and he stated no. And then I asked him about the vehicle, if he was driving the vehicle and who it belonged to. And he advised that it was his vehicle and that a friend was driving the vehicle.
Okay. Did there come a point in time where you made contact with that friend during the course of your investigation?
Yes, that's correct.
Did he gave you a name and number to call?
Correct.
Okay. And based on the conversation you had with that friend, did that give you any reason to believe that the friend was driving the car?
Your Honor,
No.
I'm going to object. She's trying, I mean, it's a very, very clever way of trying to get around the hearsay rule. Anything that person told him is hearsay.
response, Ms. Gillis?
Well, I'm asking basically if he changed the course of the direction of his
Then
investigation.
just ask him that.
Okay, based on the conversation you had with his friend, did it change the course of your investigation?
It did not.
Okay. Did you continue to investigate Mr. Squires regarding driving the truck?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do next after this?
So as far as my conversation with Mr. Squires,
Yes. What happened next after that?
so I asked him who was driving the vehicle, and he gave me the name Sean Knox. And I asked him how the vehicle got to where it was, and he advised me that Mr. Knox pulled into the car wash off Belleville Road, parked the vehicle at the front of the car wash, exited the vehicle, and fled the scene on foot. And then Mr. Squires advised that he got into the driver's seat of the vehicle and proceeded to drive the vehicle to the rear of the parking lot and then exited the truck. And that's when I pulled up.
So he admitted that he drove from the front of the parking lot to the rear of the parking lot.
Yes.
Okay. Did you begin to do like field sobriety tests or PBT or anything like that?
Correct.
Don't give me the results.
Your
So
Honor, my
I-
client has asked for a breakout. I'm sorry. My client has asked for
Okay.
a breakout.
We can stop.
Hello?
Yep, I got you. Hang on
Hang on.
1 second. I'm gonna put you in a breakout room. All you have to do is hit join.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. And everybody else just hang out.
As soon as he gets back, we're ready to proceed.
Did you tell him how to get out?
I'm sorry, Judge. I assumed you would do that from your end.
No. Once we put people in breakout rooms, they have to figure out on their own how to get out. I was gonna tell you before you went in, tell him how to get out, but I just closed it out. It's good. Go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you.
Go
All right, go
ahead,
ahead,
Miss. Go
Okay.
ahead, Miss Gillis.
Okay, officer, did you ask him to do field sobriety tests?
Yes.
Did he do the field sobriety tests?
No, he refused.
Did you ask him to do a PBT?
Yes.
Did he do a PBT? Don't tell me results if he did.
No.
No, he wouldn't do one. Okay. let me back up for a few minutes. Let me ask you too, if you can estimate, what was the time from the time you got the call from dispatch to the time you made contact with Mr. Squires?
Approximately 5 minutes.
Okay, and you were working with an Officer Mowbray, correct? Or was he in a different car?
He was in a different vehicle.
Okay, but he arrived on scene shortly after, before, when did he arrive on scene?
So he, when I made contact with Mr. Squires, at the same time, he made contact with the victim who was parked across the street.
Okay, the victim was parked across the street?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so when he went, did you put him under arrest when he wouldn't take the field sobriety test and PBT?
Yes.
Okay. Did you obtain a search warrant for blood?
Yes.
Did you take him to Beaumont Hospital to have his blood drawn?
Yes.
Okay. I have no other questions of this witness.
Mr. Goldstein?
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer, I'm sorry, it's Savick?
Swabic.
Swabic? Sorry.
Yep. That's okay.
I think Ms. Gillis may have questioned you about this, but I want to make sure I understand. You got a dispatch. Do you have a copy of your report there in front of you?
I do.
I don't have any objection to you referring to it if I ask you a question that requires it.
Okay.
What time did you get the dispatch?
1:36 a.m.
Okay, and you started toward one location and then went to a different location. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, did you know what time it was that you arrived at the car wash?
No, I don't know the exact time.
Okay, but your estimate was approximately 5 minutes. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Where were you when you got the dispatch?
I don't know the exact location.
Okay, fair enough. You do agree, however, that 5 minutes was more than enough time for someone else to have gotten out of the vehicle and left the car wash on foot?
I'm not sure.
Now, your patrol vehicle, was it equipped with a dash cam?
Yes.
Okay, were you equipped with a body cam?
Yes.
Okay, was your conversation with Mr. Squires recorded?
I do not recall.
Okay, well, is your body cam turned on automatically or do you have to turn it on?
You have to turn it on.
And you don't recall at this point whether you turned it on or not?
I do not.
Isn't it standard proceeding to turn on the body cam when you are involved in an investigation?
Yes.
Your report wouldn't note whether you recorded the conversation or not?
No.
What about your dash cam? Was that on?
I do not recall.
And doesn't your dash cam go on automatically when you're involved in an investigation?
It goes on automatically if you turn your emergency lights on.
And you didn't in this case.
No.
Your report wouldn't note whether or not the dash cam was turned on in this particular situation.
No.
When you had the conversation, I'm sorry, the individual you had the conversation with, what was his name?
Todd Squires.
No. The other, I'm sorry, the other individual.
I'm not sure who you're referring to.
You said you spoke to somebody. You said you got a name from Mr. Squires and you spoke to somebody.
Correct.
What was that individual's name?
Sean Knox.
Okay, you did not speak to him in person. You spoke to him on the phone. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. How did you identify yourself when you spoke to him?
I advised I was Officer Swabic with the Van Buren Township Police Department.
And did you tell him why you were calling?
I did.
What did you tell him?
I was inquiring if he was driving the vehicle in question,
What vehicle in question?
the black F-150 that Mr. Squires was standing by on scene.
Well, since that individual was not there, what did you tell him to prep him for the questions you were going to ask him?
I don't know what you're asking.
Well, he wasn't there. So he doesn't know what vehicle you're necessarily talking about. What did you say to him so he could answer your questions?
I believe I just answered that, the previous question. I asked if he was driving Mr. Squires' black F-150.
Okay. Well, that's not what you said a minute ago, but okay. And you didn't tell him why you were calling or what the purpose of the phone call was?
I advised him that Mr. Squires advised me that he was driving the vehicle.
Okay. And you didn't tell him what you were investigating or why you were making the call?
No.
Did you ask? Never mind. Never mind. I have nothing further at this time, Your Honor.
Anything else of this witness, Ms. Gillis?
Yeah, I just want him to look back at his report and tell me, I think he misspoke. Can you tell me the time that you went to the scene?
The
The car wash.
let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure where that time came from. It was 8:09 p.m.
Okay. And back to this conversation you had with the person that the names Mr. Squires gave you. And when you talked to him, you gave him the date or the time, correct? Did you give him the time? Did you say, were you driving this afternoon, this evening, that kind of thing is what I'm trying to ask.
I'd have to refer to my report. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I asked him if he was driving the vehicle at any point during the day, and he advised he was not.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to what he advised.
Sustained.
wait. He opened the door though on cross-examination about this guy's conversation.
No, Your Honor, I never asked what he
Mr.
said.
Goldstein, hang on. No, he didn't.
Okay.
He asked him he asked the officer what the officer said. He never asked him what the other person said.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I have no further questions. I have no further questions.
Your Honor, can I just-
Anything else, Mr. Goldstein, of this
Yes, sir.
officer?
Mr. Officer, when you gave the different time just now, that was referring to the time you got the dispatch or the time you arrived on the scene?
That was the time of dispatch.
Okay, I just want to clarify. Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Your Honor.
Any other, is this officer free to go?
He
Yes,
is free
Your
to go, Your Honor.
Thanks, officer. Do you have any other witnesses, Ms.
At
Gillis?
this time, we just call Officer Mowbray.
Let me admit him. Good morning, officer. Can you raise your right hand? Solemnly swear from testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Ms. Gillis.
Okay, officer, I'd like to draw your attention back to the date of February 6, 2020. Were you working as a Van Buren police officer on that date?
Yes, I was, ma'am.
In the evening, did you get a call from dispatch?
Yes, I did.
And what was it regarding?
A hit and run traffic crash at the intersection of Tyler Road and Haggerty Road.
Okay, did ultimately you go to a different location?
Yes.
And was that based on information you also got from dispatch?
While en route, yes.
Okay, and did you go to Belleville Road?
Yes.
Okay, did you go to, were you in the area of a car wash on Belleville Road?
Yes, Waterworks Car Wash.
Okay. Did you make contact with a person by the name of Kenneth Mixon on that date?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did you do a traffic report or crash report after interviewing him?
I don't believe I did the traffic crash report.
Okay, but did you interview him?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did you see, was he with his car?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and were you across the street from the car wash with him?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and did you have a chance to look at his car?
Yes.
Okay, and did you have a chance to look at the car across the street that was parked in the car wash?
Yes.
Was that car a black F-150?
Yes.
Okay, after looking at both cars, could you, and talking to the victim, what did you conclude?
Based on the information the calling party victim in this matter had stated reference to damage, I observed that it appeared to be a side swipe fashion traffic crash. Reference the victim, Kenneth Mixon, had damage to the front passenger side of his vehicle. And then the suspect vehicle that was later located at the Waterworks Car Wash had damage. I don't recall the extent of the damage, but damage on the front driver's side of the vehicle.
And did that comport with what you learned from the victim of the crash?
Yes.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Mr. Goldstein?
I have no questions of this witness, Your Honor.
Thank you, officer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses, Ms. Gillis?
No other witnesses, Your Honor.
Motion,
Move to bind over on the charge containing the information, charges containing the
Argument.
information.
argument,
Your
Mr.
Honor, I would say
Goldstein?
it's probably ultimately a jury question. It's a question of fact.
I'll bind the defendant over. The arraignment on the information will take place 2 weeks from today on the 25th at 9 a.m. and I'll continue the bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
Your
you.
Honor.
Thanks, everyone. Yep,
Thanks. See ya.
Your Honor.
bye.